Hey everybody. Important that we keep in touch, especially during these times. It can be a little lonely if you're inside all day, and if you're missing the outdoors. There's a look at it. Hi. Yeah, and I thought I was gonna just keep myself quiet to say. So, this is really designed today to bring you good news and to bring you some power thoughts, some power. Mask is right here. I actually have like one of those other ones, but I left it at home. My son's at home. And so I left it at home with him because we live up on a little hill and in a private area, but he said he might want to take a walk. And so in our property. And I was like, if you go outside, make sure you put on your mask. There's nobody up there, but just in case. So anyway, I have that. I have rubber gloves. I have, what do you call these? Sanitizing wipes, whatever. So I'm good, I'm protected. As you can see, I'm in my car. You'll hear probably one or two motos drive by or cars, but that's it. And everybody's really covered up. So just as a preface, and I had these gloves on. I already wiped off my steering wheel. I wiped off my door handles yesterday. I mean, I did the whole thing, but my hands are sweating inside of these gloves. So I wanted to take them off at least while I'm in the car and talking to you guys. But like I said, I really wanted to come on and speak to you about our power. We have power right now, right? We're always powerful, but it's important that we recognize what we can do, even in the midst of what, the certain limitations are in terms of our mobility, our ability to connect with one another physically, and just across the channels, right? We have a lot of power still, and it's important that you speak words of power and that you speak positively about your life and about your circumstances, despite the way things may appear and the way things may feel. It's natural that at a time like this, we can become concerned with our well-being, with our state of mind, right? Fears come up, things like that. That's natural. We're human. But we need to speak against that, speak power over those things, speak power over our finances, over our families. We may not be with our families right now, right? I'm not with my family now, other than my son, but I intentionally am seeking things out that are positivity. Are these people curious? They're out for a stroll. There are a few people. So there's a little, just so you can see, there's a people, like an apartment area across the street from me. So there are a few people who are out taking a walk. They are evidently a couple, enjoying themselves. I'm going to stay in the car today. I thought about getting out, taking a walk. I see there's another couple on the beach strolling, but I'm going to stay in the car, stay put. But yeah, so it's important to speak power over what our experience is, because we are given the power of the tongue, right? So just like at any other time, no matter what's going on in the world, you can say things like, oh, I hate that. I hate my boss. Or I'm not lucky. I never have luck. I never, my girlfriends always leave me. I always get dumped. Or just anything, oh, there's diabetes in my family, so I'll probably get it too. I mean, you can always speak negatively over your circumstances, and don't be surprised if what you say comes to fruition. So now is no different, right? I mean, and so if anything, it's more important now than ever to really speak up and speak about the fact that we have all that we need. The world is abundantly full of so much. Everything that we have, everything that exists, everything that people are worried about came from our creator, from a source. And so if it was provided to us once, it can be provided again. I've spoken to people directly who, for example, have lost lots of money in the stock market recently, who were concerned about losing their jobs, who were concerned about being able to provide for their families. I've spoken with people like that who are really afraid. And I'm saying it's important that you focus on what you do have control over. Powerful. Mwah. Thank you. Thank you for the love. Just want to mention, by the way, super chats are open. So if you want to share some love in that way, this is a business, right? I am offering value. And so I appreciate whatever you do. But we have the same power now that we've always had, and it's important to use it. Do not sit on your hands, people, so to speak. Open your mouths. Speak about what a beautiful day it is today. I don't care if it's raining or snowing or sleeting. Exactly, Ron. People are suffering, and it's like you guys have to take this into your own hands. You know, we may want to look like, what's the government going to do, and where are our services, and how come they're not providing? It's like we have the power to take care of ourselves in a way right now, and you got to start exercising that power. And so look in the mirror when you get up in the morning and say, you're beautiful, I'm strong, I have everything I need to get through this. And if you feel like you don't, then you ask for help, right? Whether you ask for help from a loved one and say, look, I just need to have a conversation today. I'm feeling a little shaky. I need to get through this. I need to speak to me and talk me through this. Speak some positive words to me. If you believe in God or the power of some type of creator, whatever you call it, speak to your creator and say, I know you did not put me here to not thrive. We are all here. We are created to thrive and to prosper and to flourish. And so speak those words about, you know, I need you to show me evidence of my prosperity and my thriving. Ask for those things. Open your mouth and use your tongue to speak the prosperity that you desire to see over your life right now. If you have clients, if you have a business, if you have whatever it is, family that you're concerned about, you speak prosperity over that. You say, I know, even though I can't see it, even though it may not be visible right now, I know that everything is working out for the best. This may be a cleansing time for the planet. We've all heard by now probably about how a lot of the waters are clearing up, the airs are, experiencing reduced pollution. People are seeing animals they haven't seen before, just all of that. And so it's a time for us to really recognize what is good. I caution you against spending too much time looking at TV and news reports and, social media sites that are constantly feeding you stuff that is not going to strengthen you. You need to be strengthened, and you got to take it into your own hands to do that. Okay, so I have some notes for you. And by the way, if you haven't seen some of the videos I put out recently, I've got a video about being happy. What is there to be happy about? Watch the video and find out. Look around you. Look outside. If you can see trees, that's evidence of beauty. Okay? That's evidence of prosperity and life that is surviving, that is thriving. Okay? If you can talk to a loved one, that is evidence of well-being. The fact that you have the connection, the fact that you have the technology to watch this right now is abundance. And so you've got to recognize it in forms that we may not be used to thinking of as abundant or prosperous. Okay, so also I've got the video on natural remedies. So for example, if you are concerned about how to clean your house, yesterday I made a solution of eucalyptus oil and something called bay rum, which is like an alcohol, like a natural alcoholic product here. It comes from a leaf. And I chose to use that instead of straight alcohol because I feel like straight alcohol sometimes can be so drying. And I had more bay rum than alcohol anyway. So I put some eucalyptus oil and some bay rum in a bowl, and I did a little bit of water with it, and I went around, I wiped off every doorknob and different parts of the door that we touch, and light switches and fans, and fans, we have ceiling fans, so to turn the fans on, all that kind of stuff. So look at that video. I have a pan outside of my door where I enter usually by the garage that has like half bleach and half water in it, and every time if I go outside I'm stepping in that and letting my shoes soak for just a minute, and so I'm not tracking things inside. There are resources online. You guys know that plenty of companies like online education sources for adults and for children are offering all kinds of things for free. Whatever you're looking for, you can search for that online. You have this channel. I'm always trying to give you something positive and give you some value. So check out that video. Check out the beach yoga. Whether you just want to look at, me in a bikini, or the waves, hear the sound of the waves in the background, or actually practice the yoga, you have that available to you. So there's a lot of things, a lot of resources for you out there. Okay, so let me find really quickly, I wanted to share this with you. It's important that you recognize that there is no lack. There is no lack. I don't care what it looks like. Don't tell me, but Kelly this and but I know. I know. I can look at my own life and go, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And how am I going to, and what if, and what, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I woke up this morning, I got on my knees and I prayed and I was like, thank you. Thank you, God, for showing me all of the abundance around me. Thank you for reminding me of what there is that I can be grateful for and what I can count on. And those are the things you want to do. You want to be focusing on how much richness is there in this world? Seriously, like how much, look, somebody in a 2-seater Benz, little Mercedes, badass car just rolled by me, okay? On the island, like I haven't seen one of those since I've been here. And look at the diversity of life around you. Whether it's people that you know and how beautiful we are, all are in different ways, what we bring as far as our gifts and our talents and the different ways we show love, the different ways we support each other. That's abundance, you guys. If you have a garden you can look at, recognize the abundance of life in your garden. Look at the abundance. I mean, you might open up your cabinet and look at how much stuff you have in there, seriously. Exactly, the bikini. Right, I have one on today too because I was going to take, see there it is, I was going to take a beach walk and I was like, well, I don't know. But recognize what is good. Maybe I should step outside for a minute and just get some vitamin D, right? That's a source of abundance. You don't even have to have, money to go to the store to buy vitamins. Just step outside your door. Even if it's cloudy, those UV rays are coming through. So be careful, protect your skin, put on a hat, whatever. But get some air. Yeah, so it's important, again, that you recognize that there are no limitations. God is limitless, right? This planet that we live on doesn't have a limitation. What is my D? What does that mean? Oh, your vitamin D, yeah. The planet that we live on doesn't have limitations. I can't grow because I'm worried, or, sorry, I'm trying to look at your messages you guys are sending. There's just always the opportunity to be positive. Wait, now I had some stuff I wanted to share with you. Where'd it go? Oh, I know. So one of the things I told you I was going to do is that I know that I am evolving right now. I know that I'm evolving. So when I started this channel back in 2017, it's like December of 2017, so just over 2 years ago, I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was doing. Just like this, I was sitting in my car, a different car, in California, and I was talking about, I'm about to move to the DR. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? I don't really know how I'm gonna make it. I mean, I had a job that didn't pay me much, but I had a job. I thought I had a place to live, which actually ended up not working out. And that was the whole thing. And I knew one or two people a little bit, but I didn't know them. But I'd been here before, so I met a couple of people. But I didn't know for sure, but I knew what I wanted. And I wanted a life that would allow me to be free and experience the kind of joy and, yeah, just a sense of freedom that would make me feel happy from day to day. And I went for it. And you've seen, if you look back at any of those old videos, you've seen the evolution of, not, first of all, physically, how I look, the evolution of different jobs I've had, people I've met, places I've been, all that kind of stuff. And the same thing is happening now. I recognize now that while I really enjoy living here for obvious reasons, I mean, it's beautiful, and the food and the cost of living and, the music and everything like that, the culture is quite rich. I know that that's not enough to just keep my attention anymore. It's not enough for me to just show you cool places to go visit or what's possible. I feel myself stretching beyond that, because what I really want to do, what my message really is about how to live a life of joy, no matter what it looks like, you guys. No matter what it looks like, we have the opportunity to experience grace and abundance and prosperity and well-being. Even if you're sick, You can speak health over a part of your body that's ailing. If you have, if you've been diagnosed with a terminal illness, God forbid, but if that happens to you, you still have the availability of your mind to think. If you can't even speak, you can think wellness over your experience. And if nothing else, it will change how you experience your days, right? You excuse the noise. There's motorcycles, people driving by. But if nothing else, you have the ability to think thoughts that are uplifting and positive. You are not trapped by your mind. Think about people who have experienced far worse circumstances than we could even imagine and who have overcome. Nelson, who was an educated professional, he was an attorney, who was fighting for justice for people who were being abused, who had lost their identity, who were being discriminated against, who were being brutalized, all this kind of stuff. And so this was a man who was fighting exactly, I think so. I feel like, yeah, I've been praying about it. I've been like, God, help me get to the next step, help me get to the next step. But so with his life on the line to help other people, right? And as we know, his life, not his physical life, like, life or death, but his freedom was taken from him. He was ripped from his family, from his young children, from his wife. He was taken away and put in isolation for over 2 decades, almost 3 decades, right? 27 years. Can we even begin to imagine? Yes, our circumstances are difficult now. Yes, we have things that we're worried about. Yes, we wonder about, how am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to keep my business alive? How am I going to thrive and survive? And what am I going to do? But think about what Mandela went through. He was alone. He was alone. He didn't have the support. Like, everybody wasn't going through the same thing. It wasn't like, okay, well, we're all in prison together. No. Yeah, there were some other political prisoners, but he was really alone in that. But he did not let that break him. He used the power of his mind and the love he had in his heart to know that what was happening to him could only be temporary. Could only be temporary, because good always overcomes evil. And so he refused, for example, to answer to anything other than Mr. Mandela. He maintained his dignity in the face of all of that was against him. By the way he held himself up and the way he conducted his life and maintained his beliefs, those guards started treating him differently. They spoke to him, they referred to him as Mr. Mandela. Can you imagine? Right? White guards, white racist prison guards in a time of great apartheid where they didn't believe that people like him held them as less fortunate than he was. Even though they had their freedom, he had taken his. Even though they had privileges that he was not able to have, he recognized that they must be hurting deeply. They must be lacking the spirit of love that is in all of us naturally, because how else could they treat him like that? How else could they treat him like that? And so he was able to offer forgiveness to them in the midst of what he was going through. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And he was able to uphold those beliefs, not for just a week or 2 weeks or a year, but year after year after year for 27 years in isolation. I mean, life, during the prime of his life, when he could have been like, who knows what? His career could have been thriving. He could have had more kids. He could have, taken vacations. He could have done whatever. But instead, this is what he went through. And he used that time to think, to write. He was denied reading material for a while, but he still had the power of his mind. And I'm telling you guys, you are more powerful than you recognize. And you've got to start using that power. So what happens to Mandela? He comes out, right? Eventually he gets out of jail. There's a change. You can create change with your mind. He used the power of his mind to create change. You think that just happened by accident? You think he wasn't responsible for what happened to himself? We are in control of what happens to ourselves. Our thoughts create our realities. And he never stopped believing that what he was doing was right, that he was working for the right causes. And so you have to believe that too. You must be fixed in your thoughts about that you will get through this, that you will thrive in spite of this, that you will overcome whatever challenges you're facing, be they physical, psychological, you may be depressed, financial, you may feel like, what the hell is going on? Listen, this man got out of jail, as we know, became president of the ANC, president of the country. I mean, on and on and on, wins a Nobel Peace Prize. What's up, Jackson? I'm just trying to let the people know that we got hope and power and positivity, right? What did I say? Power, positivity, prosperity, something like that. I forget what I called it, but that's what's up, right? I mean, there's so many figures in history we can look at, whether you look at like biblical figures like Job, right, who had a great life and was faithful and then had everything just wiped out, lost his family, lost all of his wealth, just over and over and over, you know, disease and all this stuff. But did not lose hope more than he had started with, right? Joseph was turned in by his own brothers, thrown into jail and betrayed by his own family. What he believed in, that God was going to see him through, and sure enough, his life turned around and was amazing, right? So there are examples all around us. You may know people in your own lives. You may have family members who've overcome odds, who've, you know, beat disease, who've, you know, gone from like suffering financially to thriving. I mean, there's plenty of examples of biographies, and there's just, Elie Weiss, right, the man who was in the Holocaust, who was also brutalized and all that. He wrote the book, oh gosh, Night. The book is called Night. He passed away in the past few years. And he talked about overcoming, same thing, by the power of his mind. The power of your mind is infinite. There are no limits. So if you can think about something good, if you can believe it, and even if you don't believe it to start, just start telling yourself, I'm thriving, I'm getting through this, I'm doing great. You know, I'm gonna get down on the floor, I'm gonna do 5 sit-ups. If that's all you can manage, do 5 sit-ups. I'm gonna walk around my house. If you can manage to go outside safely, right? Maintaining the things you need to do for your well-being and that of others, right? We want to respect what we need to do to be cautious about this. But if you can manage to take a walk or, you know, get outside, enjoy some sunshine, do that. Do it responsibly, but do that. We have the power to create something different. And I recognize, I believe anyway, that the world is experiencing some kind of change right now. That doesn't mean that it has to be terrifying. That doesn't mean that it has to be like depressing or negative in some way. It could be something that's really beneficial. And I challenge you, all of us, to remember that. And if you have moments where you feel like, oh God, what's going on? Those are the moments when you probably want to get still and not look at the stuff that's going to make you feel unsteady. That might be the time to turn off your TV, get off social media, don't have that conversation, right? If it cannot lead you to be, to feel powerful and to feel secure, then that's not what you want to go for. You want to listen to what you're feeling inside. If your heart is beating rapidly and you're feeling anxious, notice what's going on in those moments. Are you talking to someone who's fearful? Are you listening to something that's like, oh, doom and gloom? If it's making you feel a way, if you feel like your blood pressure's raising and that kind of stuff, then turn it off. Then tune into something that's positive. And if you don't know what's positive, watch this video again. You know what I mean? Like, look up, overcome adversity, whatever you have to do, find something that you can rely on that's going to make you feel like, okay, phew, right? Take some deep breaths. When I did that beach video the other day, there's a thing we did called Prana Breathing. Prana means like life force or energy, where you take your 2 fingers, your index finger and your middle finger, and you put them on this area called the third eye, right? Because it's like tapping into an energy source here. And then you're going to take your thumb. I'll just give you a quick demonstration. You have your 2 fingers here. You take your thumb and you're going to close the nostril on that side. And then you're going to inhale through this side. You take your ring finger, close it. They're both closed. And then you lift the thumb up and you exhale. Then you do the reverse. Inhale on this side, close it, lift it, exhale on that side. Okay, and you repeat that, and you can close your eyes when you do it, and it's beginning to channel the energy in your and allow you to get some of those deep breaths in and circulate your blood and circulate the good energy in your up in the morning, maybe before you go to sleep at night, and let you have sweet dreams. Here's another thing. When you wake up in the morning, what are you doing? Are you instantly picking up your phone? You're turning on the TV? Are you like listening to the latest blah, 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 blah? Or are you having some moments to just be quiet, right? If you can't instantly be quiet, maybe you have kids running in the room, right? But what are you thinking about? What are you tuning into? What are you allowing yourself to notice in the morning, at night before you go to bed? What are the last thoughts you're having? What are the last words you're speaking? Are you speaking something positive? Are you asking to be directed like, okay, maybe you are worried about your business, that you cannot go to work right now. What the hell am I going to do? Instead of, your last thoughts being thoughts of like fear, let your last thoughts be, God, while I'm asleep, inspire me with something that's going to make me feel better, that's going to give me some ideas of what I can do, how I can achieve something great through this, right? When you wake up in the morning, give thanks. Yeah, yes, you can talk with me every day. Let me tell you something. I have a call this afternoon coming from someone. I will do consultations. I do consultations. You can do a 30-minute consultation. You can do an hour consultation. The hour can be split up into two 30-minute sessions. I do those. Okay, so if you want to find out about that, write to me at freeislandgirl@gmail.com, and I'll tell you about that. Okay, I have a website that I'm planning on completely revamping because I'm going to do something different now. I will still offer information about the Dominican Republic for those who are interested at a certain point about investing and visiting. Because honestly, when all this stuff turns around, it may be a great time to invest. Yeah, Jeffrey, go ahead. Feel free to do that. There are going to be people who are able to invest and prosper at the end of all of this. Do I think the global economy is going to be over and everything's and keep these things going? If we don't, guess what? There's going to be a black market, just like in Prohibition. If things get taken away, there's going to be another way of us having commerce and managing to just make, to go about our day-to-day lives. So no matter what happens, we're going to keep going, right? Ultimately, I think what's going to happen is all this negative stuff is going to be washed away. It's going to be supported by what is true and good and positive. And so you can get a jump on that right now by beginning to think that way. I mean, seriously, why wouldn't you think that way? Why wouldn't you think that way? Why wouldn't you think that things are going to be good? Why wouldn't you think that you're going to survive and do well and feel good and be healthy, right? Even if you don't know how, why wouldn't you choose to think that way? Doesn't it make you feel better? I mean, I could sit here and I could talk about all the bad, scary, ooh, how's that going to make you feel? Or I could sit here and talk to you about, hey, I think I'm going to go out there and take off my top and let my bikini, let my body get some vitamin D real quick. And let's talk about the beauty all around us. How about that? Let's do that for a minute, okay? I am going to go out there. I am going to take off my top. I am going to sit in my bikini for a minute and feel good, okay? So let's just do that for a hot second. I'm going to put my stuff down here. I'll roll up these windows real quick, and let's go outside and enjoy some of this beauty. Seriously, would that make anybody feel better? A bikini shot real quick? I'm down to help you guys, okay? I'll help me help you, help us, help everybody. It's a win-win, win-win, right? There's always something positive. There's two motorcycles coming. I'm gonna let them go by. Okay, while I'm doing that, while I'm letting the motorcycles go by, I'm gonna take off my top. I'm gonna have on a bikini top, but I am full of positivity because I believe that it makes a difference. Seriously. I'll tell you this, it makes me feel better. And I feel like if it makes me feel better, it's probably gonna make the next person feel better too. So there we go. I'm not gonna take off everything because I do have on a whole bikini. I wasn't sure I was gonna get in the water today, but I'm not. Like I said, my son's at home. I'm not gonna stay away for too long. I am gonna go to the grocery store after this. I have all my protective gear. But let's step outside for a minute, okay? Positivity is the way to go. And can I tell you, I get a lot of really good feedback from people when I do offer this kind of message because I just think it feels good, right, you guys? Okay, so here we go. Here we go. I don't know how well you can see me. It's bright. But, yeah. So let's just take a look at what's out here. Can you see me? Ta-da! Hang on. Let me go down in the sand a little bit. I'll walk over this way. So here's where we are. Here's where we are. How's that? Okay? So, let me me see. There's a glare now, so I'm having trouble seeing. If you guys do any messaging, it's hard for me to see you. But we could focus on beauty around us, right? Whether it's or porta twice, you're retired and want to. Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? You definitely need to message me because I can help you with that. I've got someone else who wants to find out about investing here. And, I know people are like, why would you think about investing right now? But guess what? It's going to be a good time to get in a minute, or now. I mean, you can certainly, there's all kinds of things I can lead you to, well, whatever. We can talk about it later on. But why wouldn't you focus on what this, again, even if it's just, let me get out of the way, even if it's just virtual to that. Down there's people laying on the beach. I don't know if you can see them, but there's people laying on the beach down there. Those people have chosen to just say, you know what, let me get out and take a look. I missed what that comment was. But here you go. Here's a woman in a bikini who's offering you some positivity today. How about that? Is that something to feel good about? Right? So, yeah, I felt like people just needed to hear some good stuff, and they needed to be uplifted, and they needed to have some inspiration. And why not me? I'm the one to give it to you. I'm the one to give it to you. And so, like I said, I appreciate the love you give back to me, whether it's just blow me a kiss, mwah. If it's a super chat, I think it should be enabled now. I'm gonna put a link. I haven't, when I go home and I do all like the description box and stuff, you can there. I will tell you, I put links where you can send a donation. Absolutely, I would accept that right now. I'm on an island, right? And so, but instead of me being fearful about what am I gonna do, look, I believe that people are gonna support me, and that the life force itself is gonna support me. Why? Because that's what I claim. That's what I'm choosing to speak over my life. It's really quite that simple. And so, is that my internet guy? No. I thought that was my internet guy driving by. So yeah, you guys, so it's all about what you choose to focus on, how you choose to speak about things. And so I really recommend that you use this time live right now, because there's some people who could probably benefit. But anyway, they'll be able to see the replay. But don't be afraid. Fear not, right? Fear not, said the Lord, because I am with you. And so there is a greater force happening right now in all of the world. There you go, to give you a little pan action of what's going on around us. There is love in the world, and listen, if you haven't noticed anything else, have you noticed how many people are coming together and doing great things? Like, there have been stories about, like, I don't know, basketball players and different restaurant owners and people like that who are saying, oh, I'm gonna, donate some money to help supplement people's salaries who are out of work, for example, in the stadiums, or they're going to offer housing options or things like that. So there's always, 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 always positive opportunities. I'm gonna put my glasses on now because, again, it's so bright. My future's so bright I gotta wear shades. So this is where I'm headed. I'm headed into and I mean, like, metaphorically, like, I feel like my next step is definitely to do more of this kind of stuff, because I love this. I am a talker, in case you hadn't noticed. But I've been getting some messages from people, like, literally, that are full of positive feedback. And I'm like, well, shoot, I like it. I'm happy doing this. It feels good. People seem to be responding. So let me do more of this. Now, what does that mean? What does that look like exactly? I don't know. But the good news is you guys get to come on this journey with me, just like you were on the journey from my beginnings in Oakland, in my car back then, talking about I'm moving to the DR and what am I going to do? And, it was one of those moments where I think I was maybe like a week or so out from moving. And I had one of those, like, little kind of panic moments, like, oh, what am I doing? Am I sure? And how's this gonna work? And I don't know, all that. And she was like, she told me that someone gave her a little plaque that said, leap and the net will appear. And I was like, okay. And then she ended up actually presenting that. I think we'd had a conversation beforehand, and she mentioned that. And then that night when we had drinks, she brought it and gave it to me. And I have it on a shelf in my room where I have like a little, I'm grateful and hopeful about life, especially at times when you don't know what's going to happen, when there is uncertainty. And frankly, There's always uncertainty, because which one of you out there can tell me what's going to happen in an hour? Like specifically, what's going to happen in an hour? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen next year? Nobody knows. Focus on that as something negative and scary and like, oh, big and bad. Or you can choose to go, hey, great, it's an adventure. Let me just make the best of it and see how can get in where you fit in, right? How can I fit into this adventure that we're on? And I don't mean to make light of it like, oh, wait, the world's on an adventure. I get it. I get that there's something serious going on. But even in the midst of this, you can choose to look at it from a negative, fearful standpoint, or you can choose to decide, hey, let me see what I can do to make the best of this situation, okay? And so I did with that flag said, I leapt, I took the leap, and the net did appear. Look at the net. Look at this net. This is what caught me. This is where I ended up. I was like, well, I got this skill, I got that skill, if nothing else, it's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you feel happy. It's going to do some good for someone else. And then someone else might be like, you know what? Thank you so much. Here's something I can offer you. Barter is the oldest trade in the world. We know this, right? It's the oldest trade in the world. So think expansively. Do not limit yourself right now. Think expansively about what can you offer the world? What are your gifts, right? And you may not be able to physically touch and go and like, well, I'm a great masseuse. That may not be your thing. I don't know. Maybe someone would say, hey, come give me a massage in your rubber gloves. I don't think so. But maybe you can like communicate with someone by phone and tell them how to relieve, a sore back. Maybe there's something they can do, a stretch or something like that. Maybe you're a great chef. But now's the time for you to be creative. Now's the time. And if you don't know, like you have no effing clue, then you need to get still. You need to get still and ask. Ask and you shall receive. You need to get still and go, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm afraid. It's okay to admit that if that's how you feel and say, but I need to know, I want to know how to be faithful. I want to know how to be strong. I want to know where is my path to get through this? Ask and then be quiet. And just listen and see what you get. And it may be like, maybe you need to have a day of silence. When's the last time we had that? I live with a 10-year-old, done like a prayer this morning. I went outside that and I'm continuing to listen. Oh my God, listen to that. I'm continuing to listen and just be guided, and we'll see what develops, right? I appreciate each one of you right now watching this and listening and hopefully also being inspired. And then you in turn go and you do that for someone else. You have inside of you, and it may not be anything more than a positive word. Hey, I'm just checking on you. Want to send you some love. Know that don't worry about what it looks like. Letter from Birmingham. What? A letter from Birmingham. What? Right. Jail. He was in jail, and he wrote one of the most profound pieces of literature, of communication, of whatever you want to call it, during a time when he was being degraded and surely humiliated and threatened and all kinds of stuff at what could have been and what may have been one of the lowest moments in his life. But look at how we are now also inspired by that. And so you got to dig deep right now and find, okay, what is it in me that I can hold on to, right? And again, you may not feel like you have it. If you don't feel like you have it in you, then you go ask for it. You ask a friend, hey, I need some words of upliftment. You contact me and go, Kelly, I need 30 minutes with you. I need you to talk over my life like you're talking over your life. I'll do it. I will do that for you, okay? Okay, you guys, I'm hoping you can see me. It looks like there may be, there may have been a bit of a connection problem there. But I'm saying, I will even let you see me in a bikini if that's what it takes to make you feel better. Right? Seriously. I mean, I joke, but I'm also kind of serious. Like, why not? It's a beautiful day. As you can see, I'm not near anyone. I got my protective gear in the car. I'm going to go grocery shop in a minute. I don't need a lot, really, but I'm going to pick up a couple of items. And I'm going to be all covered up when I go in there. And when I go home, I'm going to cleanse and, do all the things. I'm going to be curled up in a ball. And so don't go there. You take that leap. Sit down, get a piece of paper and a pen, write out what you want. Do you even know what you want? Maybe this time is happening so that we can all get really clear. Do you even know what you want? Like, what do you want in your life? Like what do you really want? Like your biggest dream. If you could have anything you wanted, money's no object, time is no object, health is no object. There are no limitations. What do you want? Can you articulate that? Maybe you can, but maybe you can't. I've even had to go and go, okay, Kelly, with bigger things that I want. I know I want to be, a viewer mentioned to me a while back, you should be giving TED Talks. And I was like, wow, that's a cool idea. Why not? Let me give a TED Talk. Let me be on a stage in front of thousands of people and uplift them and inspire them. I want to travel, and do this internationally. I can speak in different languages, or if I can't speak that language, they have simultaneous interpretation, or things like at the UN where I speak and they hear what they're saying. Yeah, let me do that. Let me be virtual. Let me be online. Let me be whatever. That's what I want to do. I want to write a book. I have a lot to say. I have a story to tell. One of the things is I want to be motivated to write every day, or at least on a regular basis, because I've been dragging my feet, you guys. Now you want to help me? Here's where I need some help. Send me some love and some positive vibrations for feeling motivated, for getting on my discipline and having some things to sit down. I have plenty to write about, but for sitting down and doing it. That's an area that I have trouble in, right? I'm not just all, oh, yay, everything's great every day. You've seen my video with the 2 years, my 2-year anniversary video where I was crying out in public. Like, what is going on here? I'm feeling overwhelmed, right? Here's another thing I'll tell you about where I have a challenge. So I'm 6 feet 2 inches tall. And there are times still people say, oh, do you play basketball? And stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And for a long time, and even sometimes still, quite honestly, I feel awkward. It feels weird to be like the tallest woman all the time, to be taller than most of the men, all that kind of stuff. 5'10", I want to be tall. I love being tall. But why do I have to be this tall? Guess what? Maybe God made me this tall on purpose so that I am noticed, so that I stand out. Because I do have a message. I do have stuff to share. And maybe if I fit in, I wouldn't be as recognizable or as, I don't know, whatever. And so we all have stuff to overcome. I got messaging when I was growing up from all the typical sources, school and home and society and the media and all that about, one thing or another, why you're not okay, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that. My career, for all of the fancy education, this and that I have, my career has made me wonder times, what the fuck, straight up. Like, what is it? But I don't quit. I'm like, here's what I want, here's what I want, here's what I want. And frankly, I never wanted a job where I had to sit at a desk all day long, stuck in an office. That's just, I'm talking about since I was a kid. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I was really clear on what I didn't want. And so maybe you start on like, well, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want to be in bad health. All right, great. Well then, what change would you make? And I don't mean necessarily like, how would you eat? You're gonna send me love in April. Ah, thank you. It may not be like specifically, how am I going to change my health? What are the steps? I'm going to eat this and that. You may not know that right now. And so don't force yourself with too much, like I got to do these things. But maybe you just feel like, I want to be able to breathe deeply. I don't want to have like sleep apnea, for example, or I don't want to have high blood pressure. Okay, then let's phrase it in the positive. Even more than I want to, I have healthy blood pressure. Start saying that every morning. I have healthy, my blood pressure is healthy, right? Is it in a healthy range? I've got great cholesterol levels. Oh, my vision is fantastic. It's getting better every day, right? You might have a bad relationship with someone in your life. Start speaking positivity. I'm so happy. Oh, hang on, I'm trying to read this. Oh, beautiful. Oh, thank you. PDF, I lost it. I couldn't see who that was from. Thank you so much for the messages. Yeah, this is why I do this, because it feels good to me. And so when I speak this positive stuff out, guess what? It has to come from something positive inside of me. And so I give it out to you. If I didn't have it in here, I couldn't give it out. And so if you feel like you're lacking something, then speak about it. Speak positive. You may be just speaking to your damn self. That's okay. That counts. But speak about it, and then it's going to start coming. So whether it's your health, whether it's a relationship, oh, you know what? That person and I had a much better day today. I had a much better conversation. Wow, I feel like it's becoming much easier to have a conversation with my husband, with my daughter, with my whoever, my boss. I feel like I'm being heard. I feel like I can understand their point of view. Whatever that may be, right? Start speaking about things the way that you want for them to be, just try it. Just try it. It may feel like, that is such bullshit. Try it. Try it. Here's the thing. You can either try it and see if it works, or you can continue with what you're doing and get the same results you've had. And if you feel like you're not getting the results you want, why not try something different? Why not try to speak positively, to look on the bright side, to find a silver lining? Do this. Here's some homework. Find 3 silver linings in what's going on right now. 3. Could be some time off. Whew, if you need a break. You need to catch up on some naps. How many of you have felt exhausted recently? Right? Could be time to watch my videos in the middle of the day. Yay! I get to see Kelly in a bikini in the middle of the day. I don't know. Find 3 silver linings that are particular to you. And well, it could be particular, it could be about, general for the whole world, or it could be particular to your life right now. But find them. Okay, here's 3 for me. I get to stand on the beach with nobody around and talk to you guys and feel great. I get to spend some time with my son. We've been painting, we've been baking, we've been just hanging out. I've had some time to rest and also begin to think about, what do I want to do next? And you might say, well, yeah, you had that before, but I didn't feel like I did. I felt like I was just busy with the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And I knew I wanted something different, but I was feeling like kind of cramped, sort of mentally, like, okay, I have all these things to do. I didn't have the space and time, or at least I didn't feel like I did, to really just kind of stop for a little while and see what was coming up for me. Yes, even here on this island, you may feel like, oh, well, girl, what you worried about? But yeah, you can still feel like you need more time to just relax, or, whatever it may be. So, get my gist. Look at this little doggy. Hello. Can you see it? It's so, oh yeah, there it is. Look at little doggy. I noticed animals seem to love me. They follow me around and stuff. My cat loves me. I think it's because I have good energy, you guys. I think it's because I just am a loving person. And so do that, okay? So find 3 silver linings about what's happening in the world right now. It can be in your life, it could be globally, it could be, I don't know. And if you can think of more, think of more. Why stop there? Get out a sheet of paper and write down what you're grateful for. 10 things. What are you grateful for? Some people are like, oh my God, 10, because you may not be used to thinking about what you're grateful for. And at first it may be like, well, okay, I have electricity, click. Yeah, imagine if you didn't. Could be things that seem silly. I'm grateful that I have ears. Yeah. Can you get up and walk across the room unassisted? Right? You don't need help. You're not on a breathing machine. Awesome. If you are on a breathing machine, or you can't walk across the room, or what do you think Mandela was grateful for when he was in jail? What do you think Martin Luther King was grateful for when he was in prison? What do you think? These people found something in the midst of all that they were dealing with to get them through. And I'm telling you, mark my words, it's the same thing for us. They are not different than we are. They are not superior in terms of their ability to connect with something. They have the same resources that you and I do, the exact same. And so if you want something different in your life, if you want to create something different, what a fantastic opportunity to start working on that. What a fantastic opportunity. Put on some music that makes you feel good. If you're feeling sad and depressed, turn on some music that makes you feel like you want to dance. Get up and dance. And if you can't really move your body, if you're feeling restricted physically, then just just feel good. Sometimes you feel so good you shed tears, right? That's beautiful. That's cleansing. All of that stuff counts, you guys. Okay? All right, I showed you the prana breathing. Try that. You got my beach video. You got the health and wellness video, the natural remedies. You got the be happy stuff. I'm coming with it. I'm coming with more and more and more. Find things that look around you, and find things in your home, in your neighborhood, in your country, in your surroundings, in your community, in your family, to be happy about, to be grateful for, to feel love about. Mwah. I love you. You gotta love you too, right? You gotta love you too. And you gotta realize that your thoughts are so powerful. So stick with what makes you feel good. If you're getting sucked in and you're like, oh no, turn that shit off. Turn it off. Don't have those conversations, okay? Mwah. I love you. I gotta go shop. I'll talk to you soon. Check the description box, you guys. You send me some love, I'm sending you my best. All right, talk to you soon.